Hello. I recently stumbled upon yet another abuse of the reduce function, and I wanted to talk about this. And before we dive into the details of how reduce function is abused, let's maybe present myself. I'm author of the Next Generation Shell. That's a modern programming language for DevOps. And of course, I'm interested in programming languages and how you can express and what and in which language. So let's get back to the reduce function abuse. So what we are seeing on my screen is very interesting use of reduce function, which is atypical, and I would say it's an abuse. By the way, I'll post a link which defines the reduce function for whoever doesn't know what it does. You are welcome to visit that link. So why is this use of the reduce function is atypical? Because instead of returning new value each time, this callback is actually modifying the accumulator. So this is pretty much confusing for people that do know what reduce function does, and this is like pretty much unexpected use and atypical. And I was thinking, what would be the cause of this misuse of reduce function? And I think in general, I have observed two types of abuses of programming languages. And in general, I would say there are like mainly two reasons for any kind of such abuse. First is that the programmer does not understand what the function of facility does, and they don't understand when to use it. And that's also unfortunately common. And there's another reason is that the programming language actually does not provide the required facilities, and there's no way to express yourself in a straightforward manner. So the people actually take and abuse existing facilities to do something which they were not supposed to do. And I'm inclined to think that what we see on my screen right now is actually the second case, because if you actually look at what it does, it is kind of filtering the array and then collecting items into node args. So what is happening here overall is actually items are collected into resulting array, and there's no convenient facility for that in JavaScript. You can use maybe filter and then map. And since the authors here did not do exactly that, I would assume that there was a reason for that, and the reason it is doing that was not convenient for them. So, and I'm claiming there's no convenient facility for that in JavaScript. So what do I mean? I would like to compare this piece of code to my translation of this piece of code into NGS, and we can see how much more straightforward it becomes. Okay, so we have node args here, node args here. And here we can see explicitly mentioned is actually the operation of collecting items into an array. So this collector is actually purpose built for collecting items into one result. And the second counterpart of this collector is here, is called collect. And you can, at a glance, see that you have collector and it collects some elements. And you don't need to break your head trying to understand what this reduce does, because it actually doesn't do reduce. It does something completely different. It does here a combination of filter and map, which is roughly what collector is, but it actually lets you express more precisely your intent. And that's pretty much about this case. And in summary, I think that JavaScript does not provide the necessary facility, and that's why people did it here. So just to mention, the only other programming language except for NGS which has facility like that is Raku. which was previously named Perl 6. They have keywords which are called gather and take. So gather is instead of collector and take instead of collect. It works a bit differently, but it's pretty much lets you to express the same thing, also in a pretty much straightforward manner. Let me know what you think in comments. Like and subscribe. And thanks for listening. Bye.